What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another Shadowlands video. How's everybody doing? Hope you're having a good day. Grab your coffee, kick back, relax. We are going to be doing some more PTR testing. Look at this dog. I freaking love this wolf. I forget where I even got this mount, but it's like the best mount ever. It's the oh yeah, it's the time walking one. 5,000 badges. Love this thing. Okay, what are we looking at today? We are looking at Night Fae Survival Hunter. So let's just look at a couple things really quickly. We took a look at Necrolord Survival Hunter. Then we did Kyrian. No, we haven't done Kyrian. We did Venthyr. I think we were all kind of surprised at the AOE damage of the Venthyr. I think it keeps up actually just fine and has really strong single target damage as well. Necrolord obviously has strong AOE damage, but suffers on single target damage for sure. So that part sucks. Night Fae is interesting. Let's look at the tier set bonus first of all that we're looking at for Survival Hunter. If you guys don't know, obviously double legendaries plus tier set. The double legendary effect that we're getting, I'll get to in a second, but the tier set bonus, when our kill command resets, 40% chance to make our next bomb, incur no cooldown. Very important wording there. And then your wildfire bombs always just do more damage, and if they get empowered by the kill command buff, they do 80% more damage. So very strong tier set bonus turns us into the Bombardier, and that's pretty cool. It's a lot of damage, and it's essentially Covenant neutral, right? So it doesn't matter which Covenant you take; it doesn't really affect these bombs. There's some interactions, a little bit, but by and large, this tier set is completely separate from whichever Covenant you're going to take. So in my opinion, that means that basically any Covenant's up for grabs. Necrolord might probably be the weakest, I would say, of the four, but I still like it. But I think that there's of the other three options, let's say Night Fae, Kyrian, and Venthyr, I think they're all viable. And I'll get to Kyrian last. We'll save the best for last, quote unquote. But the Night Fae one that we're looking at right here is interesting, right? So Wild Spirits is a 2-minute cooldown. Obviously, it does a ton of damage. It'll hit 5 nearby targets, so it is target capped. Which essentially the Kyrian one isn't target capped, right? Because the Kyrian one just gives you like 30% crit, and it means that all your other abilities that do AoE damage, like your bombs and your wildfire cluster, are not target capped. But we'll get to that later. So then the Wild Spirit's ability is target capped, which is a little bit of a problem, so to speak, in terms of AoE damage. Big AoE damage. Also, the Wild Spirit's secondary effect is target capped in the other direction. What do I mean by that? I mean that it says when Wild Spirits has fewer than 5 targets, it does double damage, which is good. It means that the Wild Spirits gets more value on single target and on 4 target cleave right here, which we're going to see, and on the raid boss, which we're going to see later on the single target side of it. So that's all great. But if you're in a big Mythic Plus environment and you're doing like a plus 18, plus 20 key, which when we move into 9.2, the keys are going to start going up, right? The ability to do something like a plus 20 key, that's going to be easier and easier to do. So when you go into those kinds of dungeons, your tank is probably going to want to pull like 5 to 10 targets. Probably closer to 10, not closer to 5, meaning the value of Wild Spirits and the value of this legendary effect is essentially negated on those packs. You don't get any value out of this if you're hitting 5 or more targets, right? So it's good. It's just that I think in the higher end Mythic Plus, when you're forced to do bigger pulls in order to time the key, like if you waste your time blowing cooldowns on a pack of 4 here, and then the next pack of 4 is going to be slower, and then you do another pack of 4, you can't do that in higher Mythic Plus. You just have to go, right? You have to go as quickly as you can, and you got to pull a lot of stuff. So the value of this legendary effect, I think, goes way down, which is really unfortunate. But it's still very, very good when you do have less than 5 targets, like we're going to show here in this test, and also on the single target side of things. So that's really good. And then the regular Wild Spirits itself does lots of damage in AoE when you have 5 targets. So There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just trying to highlight the fact that I think that the value of Wild Spirits is going to go down in the higher end Mythic Plus because you are tending to pull more and more mobs than you normally would. And that means that just the value kind of goes down. Compared to something like Kyrian, for example, or even Necrolord, Venthyr hits 6 targets, right? The Venthyr ability hits 6 targets. And it bleeds for it turns your funneling kill shot damage into a 6 target cleave essentially, which is really good. The bag of munitions explosive shot is uncapped AOE, so it does the same amount of damage to everybody, which is interesting. And then obviously the crit that you get from the baseline resonating arrow is just crit. So it takes all your other abilities that are potentially uncapped, like the bombs, and it makes them do more damage. So just these are the little things that you need to think about. The other thing that you want to think about is that I'm running Naya, and you probably want to run Karain. Karain? You probably want to run Karain for the 10% more damage here, and then you get the extra execute damage down here. This is probably just better. There's the crit in the middle here as well. This is a very good tree. I just can't unlock it right now on the PTR stuff's really dumb. You have to like anyway. It's just you have to like actually spend time doing some of these campaigns to unlock some of these guys, which like I don't have time to do right now. So we're just gonna run with Naya. We're gonna get the mastery buff, and that's okay. We're really checking out these conduits. We want to see like how these conduits work. Obviously, the Wild Spirits conduit is here. Makes it do more damage. It lasts longer. Very, very good. We're gonna see 4 target cleave. So let's see what the damage is like on this. It's I think it's gonna be quite strong. If you do find yourself in a 4 target cleave situation or on a single target boss situation, I think the damage here is gonna be just fine. And we're obviously running Wildfire Cluster. That's the last thing I want to talk about is that, as we've discussed, there's really no other options in terms of legendaries. The single target damage of Call of the Wild is interesting, but really you're just going to want to go cluster. Okay, so here we go. Let's jump into this. I got my pet out. We're going to start with coordinated assault into kill command, and then we will do I guess we could do spirits first, but I want to do spirits after. We're going to go with this. We're going to go with spirits. There we go. Now we go. Get as much damage out as we can. Trying to get the resets on our kill command. Didn't get one. Unlucky. We're trying to just cast as many abilities as we can in the Wild Spirits window, of course. So you saw it lasted a very long time there. We got a bomb buff. We didn't get any bomb buffs in the window of Wild Spirits. The interesting part about Wild Spirits is that it doesn't really matter if you are getting other abilities doing extra damage, right? Like, for example, with the Kyrian ability, Resonating Arrow, it does matter if you're getting these procs during the Resonating Arrow window because that gives you more crit. So it's making your other abilities more powerful. Wild Spirits just functions all by itself. It does its thing all on its own, and it doesn't care about your other abilities, which is great, which is actually pretty good for us. But it's interesting just to think about those kinds of interactions, right? That the Kyrian ability kind of depends on your other abilities being like proccing and doing as much damage as they can possibly do. So I'm going to keep going here. We'll do a 2-minute fight to get 2 shots of the Wild Spirits legendary just to see the full effect of it. There we got a proc on our bombs finally. We've been getting kind of low on the procs there. Got another proc. That's pretty sweet. Let's go. 20 seconds or so on Wild Spirits. Another bomb proc. That's pretty good. Once again, you can, like, the Wild Spirits stuff, it'll just function all on its own, which is awesome. You don't actually have to worry about your other abilities when you're casting. You just have to try and cast as many things as you can, but that's all. Get the reset on those. Okay, Wild Spirits is coming. Let's do Coordinated Assault with Wild Spirits. That's the only other thing you can think about. With Wild Spirits, you can... two things. Wild Spirits lines up with Coordinated Assault perfectly, which is awesome. The other thing is that in a Lust window, you're going to perform better no matter what, but in a Lust window, Wild Spirits gets a lot of value because the more abilities that you can throw off during your cast of Wild Spirits, Like during the Wild Spirits window, the more abilities you can fit in there, the better it's going to be, right? So we did about 18.5k there. The pet was attacked. Let's say 18k. So obviously Wild Spirits is your top damage. Wildfire Cluster is a close second. So all the bombs are right up there, but that's obviously this is the bomb build. So that's what it's going to look like. That's your breakdown. Excuse me. If you want to compare this really quickly to some of the other tests that I was doing, not any of those. Where's a good test? Here we go. 17.2. So we just did 18.0 in terms of our overall damage. And then with the Venthyr pouch, we did about 11. Oh, we did more than that. That's the wrong one. 17.2. So there's pouch for Venthyr is obviously the top damage in AoE. And you saw with our Kyrian, with our Wild Spirits here, it was also the top damage. So I'm in combat, still got to run. So that's how that breakdown is going to go. Now remember, this is the ideal scenario. So this is 4 target cleave, or as we're going to see in a second, a single target boss. The Wild Spirits value is good with 5 targets, and it's good. It's even better with 4 targets, but it's sort of bad. It gets bad at 6 targets and above, and which is a lot of what you're going to be doing in Mythic Plus probably, right? And as I just said a minute ago, the benefits of Wild Spirits really is that it doesn't matter what you're doing with the rest of your abilities. It's not giving you crit, so like you want to be pressing your other abilities and you want to be getting these tier set bomb procs, hopefully. Those don't matter. It doesn't matter at all. It's Wild Spirits is always going to do its own damage, period. It always lines up with Coordinated Assault, which is really cool. 2 minute, 2 minute. That's awesome. So that's a really, really nice bonus. You're always going to have the 20% damage in while your Wild Spirits damage is going out. The problem with it, as I was just saying, is that it has these weird target caps on either side. So like if you're hitting 5 targets, it's like kind of okay for it's good for the base value of Wild Spirits, but if you'd rather be hitting 4 targets to get double damage. So I don't think it's that much. I'm maybe making it a bigger deal than it needs to be made, but I just think in Mythic Plus, at the higher end, you're going to pull bigger packs, and something like the uncapped AoE from Necrolord, the Venthyr pouch hitting 6 targets. Excuse me. The Venthyr pouch too, like every kill shot that you fire will spread that bleed to 6 targets, and as you're killing targets, if you start out with 8 targets, you're only going to get 6 bleeds, but every single extra kill shot you fire will add 6 bleeds out, so that could move to other targets as well within the 8 mob pack kind of thing, right? But obviously, Kyrian is like uncapped because you're just getting bomb value out of Kyrian. So just things to think about. Let's look at single target damage of the Night Fae ability, and then we're going to move forward here. So again, we're going to get our pet out. Get off our mount. We are going to go Coordinated Assault into a kill command to try and get a bomb proc right away, and then we're going to drop spirits because I want to use as many abilities in the spirit window as I can. So we go boom, like this. Here we go, spirits. We got a bomb proc right away. That's pretty cool. Serpent Sting out. Let's do this. Kill command. Try and get those bomb procs going. There, we got one. That's awesome. Got another bomb proc. Holy cow. It's very good. Got another bomb proc. That's incredibly lucky. Trapper bomb proc again. Let's reset our... Oh, yeah, we gotta reset something. Try for the bomb procs? Nope. So I'm over capping focus. I realized that. I was just trying to sort of weave in the kill commands to get my value on my tier set bonus. Try and get the... Remember, with this bomb build on single target, you need to be very careful that you don't use your bombs too early. I'm going to hold my bomb for a second here. We're going to go shrapnel now. And then I'm going to get some value. Oh, that's a kill. I shouldn't press kill shot. Remind me not to press kill shot. Okay, we got a bomb proc. If you get a bomb proc, if you use your last bomb and you get a proc on kill command, then you got to wait for it, which is a problem, right? So we're going to wait the 56 seconds here to get value out of our Wild Spirits. I'm not going to press kill shot because we're cheating if we do that. So here we go. Obviously, Wild Spirits and Coordinated Assault are both going to come off cooldown, which is awesome. One more kill command. Okay. Bomb. Raptor Strike. Raptor Strike. Let's do 3, sure. Bomb. Gonna reset the Serpent Sting. Not getting any bomb procs. Unlucky. See, we're almost holding 8k. Our damage is going to spike again when our cooldowns come back. So this is the other thing with this build, is that it's a very spiky build in terms of when you have your cooldowns up, it's pretty crazy. Okay, Coordinated Assault, Wild Spirits, go. In a Lust window, this is obviously much, much better. We're not going to press Kill Shot. Trying to get Bomb procs, I'm not getting any. That was kind of unlucky, but that's okay. Got one there. Can't use it, though. I'll use it in a second. We're still in the Coordinated Assault window, which that ends. And one more bomb for the Coordinated Assault. There we go. So 7.8. Almost 8k. So I think that's less than the Venthyr one. I need to go back and look here. There's the Venthyr one. 7.8, it's about the same, actually. 7.1 or 7.8. This was actually 7.8. It just went down a little bit, but the Wild Spirits value is pretty good. With Naya, you're getting a whole bunch of mastery, which obviously I don't think you should play this way, but the 400 mastery was pushing our Raptor Strike damage quite a bit, right? So that's why Raptor Strike is so high. That would probably be Mongoose Bite. So maybe there's a build there you could go Naya with Mongoose Bite and then dig right into the mastery bonus. And it says that your pet's focus spending abilities and your focus spending abilities are, 22% better. That goes up a tremendous amount once you throw down Wild Spirits. So there might be some sort of mastery single target build there if you're running in a raid scenario. But there you go. It would be higher with Lust. I didn't use any trinkets. My trinkets are actually terrible. They're bringing my eye level way down, but I just didn't have time to change them. So you can see that damage. There's room for that damage to improve. And the Wild Spirits value is pretty high because you're getting the extra procs on single target with the legendary effect. So nothing wrong with this. I think that the Venthyr one has the potential to be better on single target. That would be my suspicion, just because of all the kill shots that you're weaving in there, and the pouch bleed effect does add a bleed to the initial target, not just other targets nearby. But this is fine. This damage is perfectly fine. But that's the build there, guys. That is the Night Fae. I think, again, you would take Karain to get the extra damage, 10% more damage, and another 5% down here when you get into Execute plus the crit. In Mythic Plus in particular, this is pretty insane. This crit is really good. So that's the build, though. I think that it's really strong. Just to recap really quickly, I think that it's great that it lines up with Coordinated Assault. It's great when you're on less than 5 targets because you're getting double damage. And also, it doesn't matter what other abilities you're casting. On the next video, I'm going to do the Kyrian one, and you're going to see that if we don't get any procs of the Bombardier in our Kyrian window, it can be a little frustrating because you're like, that's when you're getting the 30% more crit. That's when you're getting all the extra damage from the conduit for the Kyrian, for the resonating arrow, stuff like that. So, but for Wild Spirits, it doesn't matter. It always does this damage regardless of what you're doing. Speed is important though, so running more haste is good. And then in a Lust window, the Wild Spirits gets way more value because you're able to proc it more as well. So some things to think about. In a Mythic Plus dungeon, this is a great 2-minute pack-to-pack kind of burst damage that you're going to have. And the only... yeah, those are the issues that I think I just talked about the issues there as well that you're going to have with it. So I don't mind it. I like a lower cooldown play style. I'm not really a big fan of the 2-minute cooldowns or the 3-minute cooldowns. I'm kind of a fan of like the 1 minute or lower. So you're gonna see in the Kyrian video, I think it's just the Kyrian one's just quite strong anyway. But this is good. You can run this in Mythic Plus. It does lots of damage. We have a hunter in our guild who runs this on the current servers, and I think that combining Wildfire Cluster with the Wild Spirits Lego is just gonna give you pretty huge AOE damage. You're looking at probably 18k sustained over a 2.5-minute fight there. Like that's a lot of AoE damage. So this is good. It's quite strong. I think it's going to be. You guys should give it a shot if you're still thinking. If you're still Night Fae, a lot of people went Night Fae at the beginning of the expansion. If you're still Night Fae now, you can still run it in 9.2, and it will be perfectly legitimate. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one when we do Kyrian.